Record, boom. Okay, we're recording. Okay, thank you. And then the thing is, looks like I've got a chat going on here. Let me see if I'm missing something. No mic. Okay, Jada, thanks. I hear you. I got you. Okay, we're good to go there. Okay, so anyway, we are right now in Rochester. We're all in lockdown. And not only that, spring won't come. Okay, so what I did is I decided today that when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So what I did is I decided to put on Christmas music because, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to let this whole thing go. I love Christmas. Let's go ahead and write it out. And I told my kids, so they're all listening to Christmas music today too. And the kids are all running around doing that. So we're having fun. So, hey, what are you going to do? You know, you can, the old saying is, better to light a single candle than to curse the darkness. Okay. So, hey, don't curse the darkness, light a single candle or put up a string of Christmas lights. What the heck? You know, let's just go ahead and deal with it because it's not getting better anytime soon. So let's just go ahead and be Rochesterians and do the best that we can with this whole thing. So that's it. So I'm doing good. I'm caffeinated. I'm good to go. And hopefully you guys are too. I'll keep this as interesting as I can. Let me ask you guys a question here. I'm going to throw this question out to my CAD people. I got a few people. Who out there, let's see here. Who out there is a CAD certificate person?
Like looking for one?
Yeah, who out there is one?
Me.
Okay, who's me?
Me.
Okay, all right, Padma. Okay, let me ask you a question, Padma. Okay, because I think you'll know the answer to this. Okay, now let me ask you this. Padma, do you know what a database is?
No, sir.
You don't? Okay, all right. Well, let me explain what a database is, because if you don't know, then it's probably something that maybe, does anybody know what a database is before I go on with this explanation here?
A place that you store data?
Yeah, exactly. It's where you store data. You know, don't all jump at once, you guys. Okay, and the thing is, it's where you store data. It's kind of like this. Let me give you the most simple example. Okay, here it is like this. What happens is every year, Christmas time comes along, or it comes along in April too, you know, and like I just mentioned. But when I am going to send out my Christmas cards, what do? Do I go and do I look through a telephone book and look up all the addresses? That's maybe some old piece of paper thing. Used to do that, but you know what I use now? I use an Excel spreadsheet. And the Excel spreadsheet tracks the information like this. You have one column that would track the last name. The next column would track the first name. The next column would track the street address. The next column would track the city. The next column would track the zip code and the state. And then the next one would track like a phone number. Now, what is that? That's a database. What it means is it's tracking data. I'm going someplace in this. Now, let me explain something to you. When you're working with AutoCAD, AutoCAD is a database with a graphic front end. That's really all that's happening here. So when you're working with AutoCAD, everything is mathematically calculated and presented to you through a graphical front end, but really it's just a database. And so much so that everything in AutoCAD has what's called a key field, a unique identifier. Okay, I'll show you what that is. And what that means right here is AutoCAD is a monster application for handling not just drawing information, but also data. So we're going to see how that works tonight. So that's what's going on there. That's a very important thing. Actually, my career is, still to this day, defined largely by tracking graphic information, which is your CAD drawing, and then attaching data to it. That's actually what I do. That is actually what I do. And that's where I make all the money. And there's a lot of money to be made out there. I'll tell you that. It's really true. But if you know how to do this, you're really going to be a cut ahead, because AutoCAD's a lot more than just a pretty front end, a fancy Etch-a-Sketch. It does a lot more than that. We're going to see that tonight. That's what blocks are starting to get into. That's what attributes are. And that's what attributed title blocks are all about. So we're going to look at that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's talk about that. Looks like everybody's here. So I'm going to jump into AutoCAD. So as I have talked about, and as we have been working with, I can go ahead and resume this right here. You should see AutoCAD right now. Can you guys see AutoCAD?
Yep.
That's a yes? Okay.
Yep.
All right, now, so what we're going to do right here is we are going to start by working with our information that I actually have printed out here, which I got, let's see here, got it somewhere here. Let me grab it. Yeah, I got it right here. So what I'm going to do right here is we're going to talk about this. Now, let me direct you to where it is, because what I have right now looks like this. and we're going to be doing this right here. Okay, it's going to look like that. Now, where is this? Well, true to form, I have put this on. By the way, watch what happens when I hold this up in front of the camera. I do this, and basically that's what's called giving it pure white. Now, watch what happens when I take it away. See the color change? Did you see that color change? It went from kind of a yellow down there. That's actually what's called centering your white, or actually doing a white calibration, okay, doing a white point balance. With the camera, you always do that. So when you do this, it's getting used to this. And it says, oh, okay, I see what white is now. You pull it down, and then you'll notice that it kind of like does that temporary screen burn. That's what cameras do. Anyway, part of controlling your output. So anyway, getting back into this right now, we're going to go ahead and talk about this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back out to where we typically go, which is going to be out here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here to Blackboard. Let me make sure you guys can see this. I'm going to do new share, and I'm going to share to Blackboard. Okay, you guys you should be able to see Blackboard right now. Can you see Blackboard right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're seeing Blackboard. Okay, I'll go out here, and what I'm going to do is I'll start this off right the same way you guys have been doing it. Yeah, right there, and I'm going to go here, if I can get there. Yeah, right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is it should bring me up onto this area here. Just give it a second, and it looks like it's kind of, yeah, there we go. So this is what you're going to see right here. Now you're going to notice right down here, you've got April 22 blocks, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and put a little notation on here. I'm going to go ahead and put a highlight on here. Okay, over here you see it says April 22 blocks. That's what we're working on tonight. So going back to here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this. When I click on that, it brings up the content. All right, and here's, come on, where's the content? Where is it now? Okay, let's see here. Okay, guess I'm going to have to do this. Go back to the mouse and go back to the blocks. Okay, it's taking a second. For some reason, the site's a little bit slow tonight. I can't imagine why. But you've got blocks assignment, and this is actually what is the same. It's a PDF, the same thing I did before. So let me show you what it looks like. So I go ahead and open this up right here, and this is what it is. So first of all, you guys are going to want to download this. Okay, this is what we're going to create. We're going to be creating this right here. This right here that you're looking at right here is actually going to be, it's like a little 5-page document. And we're going to be making this. This is all going to be done out of blocks, okay? So let me do this real quickly. Let me go ahead and let me do this real quickly. And I am going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of here. If it'll let me, come on you. Okay, it's giving me some issues right now. Okay, but that's okay. It looks like I can probably get it. Let's see here. Okay, well, in any case, looks like that is there. And I'm going to go back to here. And yeah, again, this is really slow tonight. I'm not really sure why, but it is. And not much I can do about that. But we will jump into this here. Okay, and like I say right here, you got the blocks assignment right here. When I click on this, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it's trying to do this, and it's not letting me actually do this. Anyway, it's downloading it real slowly, so there's a lot of traffic on the system right now. But what you can see right here is it's actually a site plan, and the site plan right here actually contains a building. It actually contains some furniture and some other things. That's all block information, which we're going to get to. So this is the first we're going to work on. We're going to work on putting this block information in a drawing. So where do we do that? Well, true to form, what I've done is I've gone ahead and I put together a template for you guys. Now this template is just simply an AutoCAD drawing. It's actually not a straight up template. I'm waiting for it to kind of like get to where I want it to be. So that'll take a second. And there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this site plan Maple Lane template. I'm going to click on that. When I click on it, it shows up here and it comes on down to here. So I see site plan map. And so I'm going to go out to AutoCAD. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open that file. Okay, so I'm going to open that file and it's out here in my downloads. And you guys are going to do the same things. Okay, by the way, let me make sure you guys can see AutoCAD here. Let me do this. Can you guys, let me do this. Can we do new share? And can you guys see AutoCAD right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is not just see AutoCAD. I'm going to go ahead and go to open it. And I'm going to open up that file, which should be in my, out here in my downloads. So let me go ahead and grab this if I can. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this site plan Maple Lane. Okay, it looks like this. Now, what I've got right now, this information right here. If I click on this right here, it tells me what layer it's on. It's on the walls layer. Okay, so what I want to do now, I want to insert some blocks. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I was showing you guys before. If I go ahead and pull this back up here, if I can find that, and it looks like that didn't really find that. So I'm going to real quickly try to get this to download here if it works. So hopefully it will. Yeah, and I'm going to try to open that up there. All right, and 1, 2, 3, there we go. And go ahead and do this again. Okay, so there that is. It's still trying to open up there. Now, so what we're going to do right now is you'll notice that it's got these different items that are right here. And I'm having a real difficult time with this because it's really slow. Not sure why it's so slow, and I can't even open it up. So that's where we're at right now. Shouldn't be, but that's the way it is. So anyway, so this is what we're going to be working on. So we are, yeah, it's all this is not even showing up yet. So that's just going to have to wait for a second here. And not sure that's going to do anything like that. Okay. All right. We're just going to get out of there. Okay. So I'm waiting for this to go on. Okay. So let me just start with this right now. So what you're seeing right here, we'll just start with a real simple part right here, which are these windows. You see it's got windows around the edges here. So let me talk about what a block is. First of all, a block is something that allows you to put information into a drawing repeatedly. All right. What this means right here is that you've got actually the ability to go ahead and to insert, like it might be, let's say, a piece of furniture, or it might be a door, or it might be a window, or something else. And these blocks are actually manufactured by companies. Okay, we did when I used to work back in Michigan for a hospital called Beaumont, which is actually about, I don't know, it has 1,000 beds, so it's really big. It's like it's a lot bigger than like Strong, you know, and Highland put together. It's really huge. It's the largest single campus hospital in the country. And I used to work there. And one of the things we used to do is lay out furniture. So when you lay out furniture, one of the things you do is you put in blocks. Now I talked about blocks a little bit for you guys, but now we're going to get into actually how to make these work and how to insert them and so forth. So let me show you how this works. So getting into blocks right here, I'm going to get into this. And as I get into this right now, I'm going to go down to here and back. Can you guys see AutoCAD right now?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I want to insert this. Now, please notice that whenever you're working with AutoCAD, one of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to always want to be mindful of your layers. And the reason why is your layers allow you to keep the information as it should be. Now, let me show you quickly what an object, what a particular item could be, okay, as far as a block. A block can be anything you want it to be, but just let me give you an example here. Let's say I was laying out furniture right now. And the furniture I was laying out was actually going to be laid out for like steel case. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here and I'm going to share something else. I'm going to go ahead and do a new share. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go out to, let's see here if I can go out here. Let's see if I can do this. I should be able to go out here and I can go out to here and grab this. Okay, can you guys see Google right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to type in here. This is actually going to be very instructive. Steelcase blocks, Steelcase CAD. Okay, so we got a Steelcase CAD. Now what's going to happen right now, this is what we used to do before. I'm going to go here and I'm going to look for a CAD file. And this CAD file is going to be any particular thing that has to do with Steelcase furniture. So this is what we used to do. I'm just going to go to task and vintage, task and visitor seating. And I'm just going to go ahead and choose gesture. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I've got these right here, standard. Can you guys see these chairs here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this up. And what I'm going to do is I am going to download this drawing right here. See, it says CAD symbols. I'm going to go ahead and download a CAD symbol. And it just came in down here. So I've got that right down there, 717 and some change. And now if I want to insert that into my drawing, I can do that by just going back. Can you guys see AutoCAD now?
No.
Okay, let me go back to new share and go back to here. Can you guys see AutoCAD now?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert that. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and grab this. I'm going to pull it into my drawing. Now watch this. I drop it in, and right there you see it. Boom. And Okay, now there it is right there. I just went ahead and inserted that, and that is now in the drawing right there. It's actually a 3D item, even though we're not going to be doing 3D. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at it in 3D so you guys get an idea as far as how that looks. And I'm going to just go ahead and take a look at it, Southwest isometric view, and there it is right there. Boom. Pretty cool, huh? So at that point right now, what I could do is I could actually go and I could just change the visual style and say, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this conceptual. Okay, when I do that, it gives me that look right there. So that's a 3D item right there. So it's showing this particular chair to me in 3D. Now, so what's the big deal? Why is this important? It's important on a lot of levels because first of all, what it just showed you is number one, I could use this particular block, which is a standardized block, which Steelcase themselves put together. So when I lay it out, it's going to be the actual furniture measurements, actual perfect measurements, and configuration like you see right there. So that's what we have. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do right here is I'm going to do a little bit further in the visual style. I'm going to go to realistic if I can do that. Yes, I've got that, and there's a few different ways I can look at this, but for right now, that's what you've got right there. So we've got that, and this information right here is now available for me to use. So what's the big deal? Well, the great thing is I can just go ahead and use this over and over again. So if I want to go ahead and put this in my drawing, I go ahead and put it in, and look at this. I can actually take it, I can rotate it. Kind of cool. Rotate the chair around like that. Go ahead and do the same thing. I'll go ahead and grab this. I go ahead and put another chair, and I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to rotate it around like that. So what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that this allows me to have great flexibility, the ability to scale and rotate these items as I put them together like that. So anyway, that's what a block is. Okay, we're working with 2D, so that just gives you an idea as far as what 3D would do. So I'm just going to step backwards a little bit here, go back to here. And now we're back to there. So what I saw is I could do that. Now what I'm going to do right now is now that I have some idea what a block is, a block can be any number of items all combined together that could be used in a drawing. Okay, now the examples I given before are windows. And in the last project that we worked with, I actually gave you guys some window blocks. And I also gave you guys some other items right there. So we're going to work with blocks right here, and then we're going to look and see how to make them into attributes. So let me show you something else right now. So now how do we do this? Well, first of all, you'll notice right now that I've got windows as my current layer, and that's cool. And I'm going to go to the insert tab right here. I'm going to go to insert these. Now look at this. When I go to insert, you're going to see there's a number of different items here, one of which is window. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to click on window. I'm going to pull into here. I'm going to go ahead and place it right here. Now notice I'm snapping to that because I've got my object snaps on. So I click there, and then I can rotate it. It lets me rotate it in any direction I want to. I just want to rotate it up in this direction and click. Now once I've done that, boom, that is in place right there. That was easy to do. So I went ahead and did that. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. Go back to here, insert, window, do the same thing right to here, click it there, and pull it up and go there. And so this is how I begin to put the windows in. So as I'm doing this right now, it's all up here under insert and insert right here. Go to window again. Now this one, I'm going to click, and now it's asking me for rotation. Let's go ahead and snap it over to the side here so it stays straight there. And this is how we go ahead and put this together. So you have the ability, as you're putting these elements in, to go ahead and to place them. And AutoCAD allows you to go ahead and place them as I'm doing it right here, just placing them in a row and going ahead and placing these in as we see, and we go like that. Okay, so I got those. Then I got another one, insert. It's usually, you could use the copy tool as well. So I'm just going ahead and going along here with like that and putting that in place. And then I got one more down here, insert, and insert this window. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in like this. Go ahead and click on it there and then pull it down like that. Now, what I did right here is I left the longer portion sticking out. That could go either way. In this case, I'm leaving them there as if they were like a window head. Like the architectural feature is actually on the outside of the building, like in colonial type of construction, where you actually have a window head that actually prevents the water from getting into the window. That also could be a sill that actually faces out towards the outside, or it could be a sill that comes in. I'm just going that way right now. Okay, so what's the takeaway? The takeaway is that you can go ahead and insert blocks, and as you insert them, you have the ability to rotate them and scale them, put them in position. The windows are easy because I don't have to do any scaling on those. So those are pretty easy. Any questions about that so far? Okay, all right, the next thing we're gonna work on right there, now that we've done that is, now getting back to what I had worked on before and what I had shown you guys, if I can get out there, and I think I can, I'm gonna go back to my, my new share and go out to here, and I should be able to go ahead and open this up. Okay, and I'm going to go back to here, and we're right here, and this still has not come down here. That's crazy.
Mr. Brennan,
Yeah.
do a lot of companies like put blocks on their site and then you can just go there and get them and import them into your
Yeah,
drawing?
it's very common. Most companies do them. I just showed you Steelcase because they're a huge company. You guys have all heard of Steelcase probably, but Steelcase is a huge company. They do it. Armstrong does it. I think IKEA does it, you know, and so there's just a lot of different companies that do this stuff. So yeah, the answer is yes. And so that makes your life a whole lot easier. Also, for those of you that are going to be getting into Revit, they make Revit families in the same way. So it's something that is very, very useful. But yeah, it makes your job a lot easier.
Like what kind of AutoCAD person would use a lot of those blocks from companies and corporations?
Well, it depends. Every person that uses AutoCAD is going to use blocks a lot. For instance, what are you planning on doing with AutoCAD, Ricky?
I don't really have any plans.
Okay.
I'm starting to enjoy it now. I'm getting a lot better at it. I did 8. I handed in 8 assignments last week. I spent a lot of time.
My evil plan is working. I've made you enjoy it. That's the whole goal. Because the whole thing is, once you enjoy it, life's a lot easier because it's actually a lot of fun. Here's the secret. AutoCAD is a way to work without working. Because once you get into it, it's really quite enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. If you have any kind of creative flair, or even if you don't, you can go on the engineering side. But either way, it's very gratifying to immediately see what you're drawing pop up on the screen. That's why Etch-a-Sketches are so popular with kids. But anyway, that's exactly what's going on right here. So to give you an example, though, let's say you wanted to work for a company that did civil engineering. Okay, if you're doing with a company that does civil engineering, the kind of things they would have blocks for would be things such as they would actually have, like when you're looking at a site plan, for instance, you'll see a north arrow. That would be a block. And then on top of that, you'd see something like a set capped iron rod. That would be a block. You'd see different things for elevation markers. That would be a block. So there's all kinds of things that could be part of that. And then along with that, there would also be a lot of other types of items that might be like manhole covers or sewer type of symbols, this kind of a thing. All of those would be blocks. Now, if you're doing architecture, here's where it gets really good here. Like for me, what I do is I do a lot of work. I do a lot of furniture layout. Well, that's a huge thing. You're talking about furniture that could be laid out for like, it could be Steelcase Systems furniture. It could be chairs. It could be seating. It could also be like appliances. You could do kitchen layout like that. I've got a friend that does kitchen layout. He uses CAD all day long. And what he does, he uses CAD to basically lay out, like for instance, every different manufacturer, whether it's Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Frigidaire, you name it, they all have blocks. And so if you're laying out a kitchen, it makes a big difference. Sometimes half an inch makes all the difference as far as whether you can do a certain remodel or not. So that's why you do that. If you're doing something like in mechanical, there's a lot of things like, for instance, if you're laying out like a piping diagram, let's say lay out a piping diagram, well, there's going to be different elbows and there's going to be different kind of valve notations. And there's going to be different kinds of schematic symbols that relate to that. All of these would be using blocks in some configuration. So if you're using AutoCAD, you're using blocks. So that's why I wanted to give you guys an introduction to it.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's just an idea. Okay, now here, what you got down here, and again, this thing, I don't know why this thing is not downloading any faster, but it's not, so that's okay. So I got this right here, and fortunately, I also have it saved in a few different places because that's how I roll. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I'm going to grab it right here. And I'll probably have to, you guys probably can't see this, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to share this one right here, right here. Okay, so can you guys see this plan a little bit larger now?
Yes.
Is that a yes? Okay, thank you. Okay, now what you got going on right here is we put in these items right here. And what we did right here is we put in all the windows, okay? And they are green because the layer is green, okay? So I went in and put those in. So that's one thing. We put those in, it's pretty easy. Next thing we're gonna do is the furniture. We're gonna put in all these different furniture items right here just to show you how that works. And then we'll work on the bathroom stuff. So we'll go ahead and work on those. So let's go ahead. And now memorizing this, you've actually got a corner unit here, a corner unit here, and some chairs, a table here, chairs. And then you got some furniture up in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start to work on that. So I'm going to go ahead and have to go ahead and go back to AutoCAD over here. And you guys should be able to see AutoCAD. Can you see AutoCAD now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so now what we're going to do now is getting into this right now. Next thing is this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on putting in the furniture. So I'm going to do this. First of all, I'm going to change my layer to what? To furniture. I'm going to change to furniture. Now watch this. I go to furniture, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert some. So I go to insert, and I've got down here, I've got furniture. What furniture do I have? I got a desk unit. So go to this desk unit right here, and I'm going to go ahead and drop it right here. Boom. And I'm going to go ahead and take it. And you notice right here, I can go ahead and rotate any direction I want to, okay? Go ahead and drop it right there, and boom, shows up in the corner there. Looks good. All right, and then go back over to this side, and guess what I want to do there? Same thing. By the way, where I'm going right here, you got the Home tab, you got the Insert tab, okay? And on the Insert tab over here, on the far left, you got a little insert item right here. And this is where all your blocks are. You can see the gallery. It's called the block gallery. And so I go here, I use desk unit again. Now watch this. I can go ahead and click it here. When I do that, I can go ahead and rotate it around this way. Boom, locks it in there. So I've got those in place, okay? And basically, you have a lot of control over this as long as you do it the way I'm showing you right here. Now back to insert again. By the way, here's something to look forward to. Once you guys get into 2020, AutoCAD 2020, there's this really cool feature called the block palette. That's actually way cool. It's a lot better than this right here. But anyway, this is still pretty good. So next thing we got right here is a chair. Where is my chair? So I scroll up. It's all alphabetical. I got a chair right here. So I'm going to click on chair. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it here, and I'm going to go ahead, and you notice that it's going ahead and allowing me to rotate it at different degrees of 45, okay? Different increments of 45 degrees. So I'm going to drop it and leave it there. Now you'll notice it doesn't look very good there. So I'm going to show you a little secret here. If you click on a block, you'll notice that its grip shows up. Now you see the grip right there? It's that blue square. If I hold my control key down, now watch this, okay? Here's my hands. This hand is now going to touch the control key. I am now holding down the control key with my left hand. Now I have another hand. This other hand I'm going to use to hit my arrow keys. And when I hit the arrow keys, I can use what's called nudge mode. That's right. It's called nudge mode, folks. And nudge mode allows you to kind of like nudge that in a position like that. Now I've got that in position right there. And what I could do is I'm going to show you something kind of cool here just because, why not? So here's where I'm going to kind of like start to pull some things out of the bag of tricks here to make you guys some power users. And you can go back. Yeah, question?
That nudge move, it's probably a lot more accurate than just the move command, isn't it, you think?
Actually, the move command allows you to be more precise, but if you just need to move something a couple pixels, the nudge mode's the way to go. Nudge mode.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So anyway, so now watch this. Okay, now I'm going to use the mirror command. This is something, at no time do my fingers leave my hands. Okay, watch this. It's CAD magic. Okay, but I'm going to show you guys how I can go ahead and mirror this thing over to here. Now watch it. So I'm going to go over to the Home tab, back over to here. And here's the mirror command. Okay, mirror command's right here. Same thing we've been working on. Two triangles facing each other. So I go to mirror. So I click on mirror. It says select the objects. What do you want to mirror? I want to mirror this. I click on that. Now once I've done that, AutoCAD then says, okay, I'm going to wait for you to tell me you're done selecting objects. Who remembers what I have to do to tell AutoCAD I'm done selecting objects?
Right click?
Right click, exactly, or hit your enter key. So I right click. Now it says specify the first point in the mirror line. Now that means I have to tell it where am I going to fold the piece of paper. Let me show you something cool here. Now here's where it gets really good. Again, I have two hands. I'm going to use both here. Here's one hand with a finger. I'm going to go here and hold down my shift key. I hold my shift key down. My shift key is now being held down. Now I'm going to use this hand. It's my other hand, okay? And I'm going to right click my mouse and watch what happens. I right click, boom. Okay. I'm not holding anything down. Shift right mouse click, and it gives you this. Now, what are we looking at here? What we're looking at right here is a listing of what are called object snap overrides. These object snap overrides allow you to select a point, and it's good for just one click. So that means no matter what you've got running, you might have endpoint running, you might have midpoint running, you might have other things going. But if you just need a one-off, this is the way to do it. So shift right mouse click, and guess what I'm going to use? I'm going to use this little tool right here that's really cool. It's called mid between 2 points. This allows me to pick a point, basically to pick 2 points, and then it will automatically bisect them. So watch how this happens. I click mid between 2 points, boom, and then I pick this point, and this point. Watch what happens. Boom. Look at that. And it parks it right up in there, okay? Because I picked the midpoint between those two desks, okay? And then once I've got it down here, I click. Erase source objects? Absolutely not. So that's what you do. So that's how you use the mirror command with the shift right mouse click mid between 2 points. That is worth the price of admission right there. Okay, moving on. Next thing we're going to do right here, and you'll notice it all is on the furniture layer, okay? Now, I'm going to change my layer mistakenly, okay? Right now, let's say I'm not being careful, and I put my HVAC layer on. So now I go to insert another item. I'm going to insert a table. Now, watch what happens here, and I want you guys to tell me what's going on here. Now, I go ahead and drop this here. Now, that table is on the HVAC layer. Is that correct?
Yes.
It is?
Looks like it, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, actually, let me explain something here. Your layer, whenever you got a layer in AutoCAD, the layer should define what the item is. So let me ask you a question. I guess I didn't ask the question properly. Would you consider a table to be part of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system?
No.
No, you would not. You would probably consider it to be furniture, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, however, this is now on the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning layer. So I click on this right now, guess what I can do? I can change it. So when you click on it, how do I change it? Now this is worth the price of admission here too. So I click on it, and how do I change its layer? I just go right up here, and I tell it, go to furniture, and boom, it turns red. Hit my escape key. That is how I went ahead and changed that. So that is how you'd actually do that. Now I realized my mistake. I put furniture back on. I'm going to continue on with cool aplomb, and I'm going to put in another chair here. I'm just going to go drop a chair right here, and just like this. And again, this is all block stuff. And now what am I going to do now? I'm going to mirror this thing. Why not? Because I can. I'm going to use my mirror command. Again, I go to the mirror command. It's on the home tab. Go to mirror. And the first thing it asks me, select what you want to mirror. I want to mirror this. And then I right click. And then I pick my midpoint, which is going to be right here. It gives me the triangle. That's the midpoint. And I go ahead and pull it up there. Boom. Do I want to erase the source objects? Nope. Then I'm going to mirror it again. I'm going to grab this and this. And I'm going to mirror it again right from here. Boom to boom, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to put in another chair on the far end here. And I need to make sure I find it. I'm going to go ahead and touch it here, pull it on over. And then I'm going to rotate it like that. We got that. And then I'm going to mirror it one more time. Mirror this, boom, go to here, boom, and mirror right down to there. Okay, so this is how we do that. Okay, erase source objects. Nope, we got all that. So those are looking pretty good here. Now that I've got that right there, I'm going to turn my attention. You guys can figure the rest of these out. They're not too hard. But let me show you something else here. Doors. Doors are actually using a different kind of a block. The block that is being used with doors is called a dynamic block, okay? Now, a dynamic block does something that other blocks don't do. It actually gives you a lot more editing features, okay? So watch this, okay? And I'll show you how this works. So first of all—
Is that when you change the size of it and rotation,
yeah,
or the number of degrees?
Yeah, you can do all that with this, exactly.
Yeah, I had to do that today.
Yep, well, you're gonna be seeing it again here. So when we go to here, we're going to go to here, and we're going to go down here to our door layer. So go to door layer. Now check this out. I'm going to go to insert. Now check this out. I've got a door. All right, it's right there. Now watch how I'm going to do this. I'm going to start with the door, and I'm going to start with the door. By the way, I'm taking my hand off it. I'm going to start with the door down at the front, okay, at the front. So it's at the bottom of my drawing, front door. So go to door. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to drag it. Now notice that it's giving me the cursor. It's actually coming to its insertion point, which is the lower left corner. I'm going to drop it right here. So I drop it there, and then at that point, it's in good position. So I just go ahead and click there and leave it there. Now at this point, it looks like a normal block, except let me show you what happens when I click on it. When I click on it, boom, there's all these other grips that show up. So now I'm going to click on this, and I realize some of this might be reviewed because I showed you guys some of this already. But the first thing I want to do is I want to open up the door so it's 90 degrees, because that's what I actually have over my other, in my other drawing. So I click there, and now it's open 90 degrees. Now let me show you that again. I click on this, change to 30 degrees, and then change to 45 degrees, and then to 60 degrees. And so it's increments of 15 degrees until you get up to 90. Okay, now, so that's one thing. Next thing, I'm going to click on this. Now here, this controls how wide the door is. It can be 2 feet, 2 feet 4, 2 feet 6, 2 feet 8, or 3 feet. And 3 feet actually fits this example quite nicely. And then down here, I can control the width of the wall. So it's either 4 inches, 5 inches, or 6 inches. I go down to here, that's a 6-inch wall. So I got that there, I hit my escape key, boom. That door is now in place. That's how we do that. I'm just gonna do one more here just to kind of like make it clear. So I'm gonna go back to insert again, insert to door one more time. And what I wanna do here is I'm gonna pick a point, let's see here, I'll go ahead and pick a point right here. Click there, I'm gonna drop it right like that. Okay, so now I've got this, I'm gonna do the same thing, click there. And you guys know what the deal is. I'm gonna go to there, easy enough. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to here and pull this down to there, 6 inches. And then over to here, I'm gonna take this and drag this down and we're good to go like that. Okay, and that is how we go ahead and do those, and you guys get the idea last one, but just for the sake of repetition, I'll do it one more time. I'll go to here, I'm gonna go ahead and take this, and let's see here, this one I could do the same way. I could go ahead and do it here. And you always wanna make sure that it's, oh, that one doesn't look so good. Let me go ahead and just do that, see how that works. That's not gonna work so well, is it? Let's see, boom, like that, nope, nope. Nope, didn't pick the right place. So we'll just go ahead and, that was a train wreck, so we'll get rid of that one. So I'll go ahead and do back to here. Insert, we'll go to door again. I'm just gonna go ahead and go over to this location here. Click there and pull it down, boom, there we are. Okay, so I'm gonna click on this and you know the drill. I'm gonna go to here. And this grip actually allows me to change the look, so I do that. And then this grip allows me to change the width, and I go like that. And then I want to have the thickness of the wall. So I go ahead and click on this grip, and I go 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, like that. Okay, now once I've got that, one more thing is it's not swinging in the right direction. So guess what? I can swing it like this by hitting this grip here. So I go ahead and do that. Okay, so that gets those together. So that's pretty much it. And then the last thing I'm going to throw in here is just, I'm going to go ahead and put in the plumbing, because the plumbing have a similar situation going on there. So plumbing right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the sink and I'm going to insert the toilet. So I'll start with the sink. Where is my sink? My sink is here. So I'm going to start with sink. Now here's a cool trick. I can go ahead and touch it here and drag it along. Okay. When I'm dragging along, it lets me pick a point right along the wall. I can drop it. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab the toilet block right here. Also in some places called a water closet. So I can go ahead and go up here and pull this down like this. Boom, like that. And drop it there. Now, what's wrong with that picture? What's wrong with that?
Oh, so it's
Wrong view.
It's the wrong view. It's giving you an elevation view, but what we're in a plan view. So guess what? This has got a little grip here. It's a dynamic block, so I can click here, and guess what? I've got a plan view, elongated plan. So watch what happens when I do this. Boom. Now that looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? So now this allows me to rotate it. This is a rotate grip. So I'll click on this, and I can rotate it around. And go ahead and rotate this around and pull it straight up. You can just use a standard rotate command too. I'm just showing you how the grips work. And then this indicates that it wants to be on a wall. So I can go ahead and anywhere along the wall, it's going to be okay. No matter where you pick, it's going to be okay with it. So we go ahead and do that. Boom. We got the bathroom in place right there. So we're looking good here. And then the last thing is up here, and you guys understand I'm not going to do all this right here, but I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to go to furniture, and I'm going to place the desk. The desk is actually up here towards the top. Looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and drop it here, and boom, and go straight over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to change my layer to electrical. Now that's a lousy name for this layer, but I'm just going to use electrical because it's all I have. I'm going to go ahead and use computer. Now watch this. I can place a computer there. So go to computer and go ahead and touch it here to find this grip. And then I can pull it off right there and drop it right there. And then go ahead and pick a point. So now I've got my PC right there, and what the heck, I'll finish the whole thing. So I'll go to here, and I'll go to furniture again. And when I go to furniture here, I'm going to insert the file cabinet. I'm going to go to here and click on this. And I pull this, and I go ahead and drop that in. And that takes care of my furniture. So what do? I save it. And I'm going to save it as file, save as, site plan, Maple Lane - Brennan. So I went ahead and saved that. So I got that in place. Now, the next thing that you're going to see over here that I'm going to show you is, as we go along over here, it looks like this. Okay, so the rest of the thing are, I've got some trees and so forth in here. I've also got a picnic table, And so I got trees, I got a picnic table, and I've also got these right here, some stepping stones that are actually kind of like evenly spaced apart here. Well, how do you do that? Well, I'll show you how I do that. And I'm going to go kind of fast on that, but you guys can look it back up on the video and watch how I do this. It's actually very cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this together here. I'm going to go ahead and place in. I'm going to go back to here. I realize you're not seeing my screen right now, but that's okay. So I'm going to resume the share. And I'm going to go to new share and go back over to here. Can you guys see AutoCAD right now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my layer to planting. I'm going to go ahead and put some trees in here. So to do that, back to insert, I'm going to go ahead and grab what I've got here. I've got right here, I got a tree, a deciduous tree. So I'm going to click on this, and this one actually fits pretty close to out here. So I'm going to go there. And you notice I can rotate it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it like that. And then I'm going to put in another one, and I'm going to go down here. And this one's got to go somewhere kind of like down in this location here, kind of like more like this. But you'll notice that it's smaller, so I'm going to scale it. So to scale it, I can just use my scale command. And there's a couple different ways to do this. But I'll go to scale, click on this. I'm going to grab this. And when I do that, I'm going to type in, this one's going to be 0.5, what the heck. All right, so that's the size it is right there. And I went ahead and made that smaller. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this one somewhere right around here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale that one. Scale it here. And I'm going to make that one 0.75 of what that size is. So I've got those three trees. Now that I have those, I'm going to copy them over to the other side. So I use my copy command. And the trees that I want, they're both basically pretty similar to me in this size, but I'm going to go over here. I'm going to drop it somewhere right over in this location here. And I'm going to put another one right here. And I'm going to scale that so it's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to scale. I'm going to scale this one and make this one about 0.7, like that. So I've got that. And now what else do I have here? I've got a couple of clumps of trees here. So to do that, I'm going to insert my clump of trees. Okay, so I've got a clump of trees right here. I'm going to put my first clump somewhere right up in here. You can go ahead and drop it. We'll go ahead and drop it there. And we'll just go ahead and hit that. We'll go ahead and put another one here. I'm going to pick a point like that. And I'm going to go ahead and just do this and drop it somewhere like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and move this around here. Like that. Okay, now the next thing you're going to notice on the plan that I have here, just to show you how this works, I'm going to go back to here, and what do I have besides this? Okay, can you guys see my layout right now?
Yes.
Okay, so what I've got right now is I've got this right here. I've got a picnic table. What's that?
When you nudged those that group of trees there, that was control and then arrow, or
yep.
Yeah, control arrow.
Yep, you click on the object, and once it's selected and the grip is highlighted, you hold your control key down and hit the arrow. You hold the control key down, hit the arrow keys.
Thank you.
Yep, it's called nudge mode. Okay, so now that I have this, I want to put in this picnic table, then I want to put in this path. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's actually pretty cool. This is what's called a path array, and this allows me to set these stepping stones along a spline that I defined. Okay, so back over to here. So I'm going to go to new share and go back over to AutoCAD. Can you guys see AutoCAD?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to change my layer, first of all, to furniture outdoor. And guess what my outdoor furniture is? It is my picnic table, which is somewhere along here. There it is, picnic table. So I'm going to take my picnic table. I'm going to park it right here and leave it right there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place in one of my stepping stones. So I use the hardscape layer. I'm going to put in a stepping stone. So I'm going to put my stepping stone. I'm going to start it right up around here. Just going to drop it right there. And we'll just go ahead and leave it there. Okay, now, here's the next thing. Now, this is where layer management is really important because I'm going to draw a spline, and I want to use a layer that's not going to get in my way. So dimensions, nothing else is on my dimensions layer at this point, so I'm going to use this. So I'll use dimensions. And now I'm going to make a polyline. Okay, so to make a polyline, I go to here. Now watch this. I'm going to start and make a polyline. I'm going to pick a point somewhere here. And watch what I'm going to do here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a polyline. So I go along here. Now this right here, the applications for this are myriad. You can do so much with this right here. It's actually pretty cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and go like this and kind of do that. Now, once I've done that, that path, although it goes to the right location, it's not very smooth. So if I double click on it, I can then use the spline command. Spline it. Now watch what happens. Boom. I spline it, and then I've got that in place right there. So that's pretty good now, doesn't it? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my other layer, which is going to be my hardscape layer. And now I'm going to create what's called a path array. So the path array allows me to pick a certain object and then a path for it to array along. So I'll go to path array. Now watch this. If you guys get a hold of this, it'll make you a rock star wherever you work. So I'll go to here, I'm gonna click on this. All right, I right click. Now it says down here, select the path curve. The path curve is here. Now watch what happens. Boom, all right? And those are automatically spaced a certain distance. In this case, it's 3'6½". I can just go ahead and say 3 feet right there. And when I 3 feet, they're now all aligned right there. And those are all set up in such a way as they're all moving in that direction. And then I'm going to turn off my dimensions layer, and boom, there you have it. That is how you would go ahead and use blocks to create a complete and very legitimate type of thing right here. Looks like I've got someone talking over here. Okay, very good. See you, Ian. We'll talk to you. All right, so we're good to go here. So now, before I move on to the next thing, any questions about this?
Is this going to be due like for next week?
Yep.
Okay.
This won't take you long at all. This is a piece of cake. This is easy. It really is. And the thing is, this last little bit here, you'd be surprised how fast it goes. That took me about 30 seconds to do.
Professor, for the tables and chairs, do we need any dimensions?
I'm sorry?
For the tables and chairs, do we need any like dimensions or measurement?
No, you're just going to eyeball it.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Well, you're going to use snaps though. Most of these things are snapped, but like for instance, this table right here, it's just got to be placed by sight. These objects right here, for instance, they should be aligned along the wall, but that's about all though for those. Okay.
What do you mean when you say you got to use snaps?
Object snaps, endpoints, midpoints.
Is that something you find down below the screen?
Yep, that's something we
turn it on and off.
Yep, that's right here. It's all this stuff right here. Remember this?
No.
Yeah, we went over. Does anyone else remember it? I hope so. Yeah, this is something we went over like several times. But yeah, these are your object snaps. And this is
okay. I'll work it out.
Yeah, actually, it's the very first night I talked about the AutoCAD tweaks. That's one of the things right there. So yeah, if you go through everything I've given you, you have no problem with that. Okay, so let me put a bow on this. What I just did is I went ahead and created a block diagram like this. What I'm going to be giving you is going to be essentially just the building layout right there, and you guys are going to put these blocks in position, and you're going to be putting them on the correct layer like that. Boom, done. That's all you got to do. That's not too bad. However, we're not done. There's more to this, all right, because I can't just leave it there. Now, the next thing. Now, once you've done that, that's all blocks. So the next thing, you're going to notice that on the sheet that I have here, we have something else, and that is called block definition. So let me go to here and let me talk about block definitions here. So we got that. That part is not going to be hard. All right, now back down to here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down to here. And what we're going to do is we're going to define a block here. Now the block right here looks like this. It's a circle. You guys can draw a circle. It's 2 lines. You can draw lines too. And then it's got some hatching. I showed you guys how to do hatching. So this is going to be easy. We're going to make a block out of this. The block is going to be, we're going to define a block. It's going to be called marker. And we're going to give it a base point. And we're going to select the objects. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this. So this is what it looks like over here. This is what the marker looks like. And then we're going to name it. We're going to pick a base point, and we're going to select the objects. That's all you have to do. So now that I've got that, we're going to make that up, and then we're going to probably take a little break here. We'll come back because I got a good amount more to show you here. So back over to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by changing my layer to 0. Okay, the reason why is for you guys right now, drawing your blocks on layer 0 gives you very predictable results. So that's not a hard and fast rule, but it's something I want you guys to do for right now. So we're going to start with here. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to zoom over here, and I'm going to draw a circle. So go to circle, pick a point, and I'm going to use 2 2 feet or 24 inches is the radius. Boom, like that. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to draw those lines around from point to point. Now over here, these are what are called the quadrant points right now, okay? The north, the south, and the east, and the west. So to access those, I'll go back down to here to my object snaps, and I want to change it to quadrant. Now you notice quadrant I already have turned on. But quadrant right here, I can have it checked on or checked off. You want to check it on. Now once I've got it on, I can go from my line command, and I can go from here over to here. Then I do the same thing from the top to the bottom. Here, down to there. And now the next thing I want to do is go to my hatch command. Go to my hatch command. I go to hatch. Now watch this. I got hatch, I've got gradient, and I've got boundary. I got these 3 options. I'm going to go to gradient. Now go to gradient right here. You'll notice that I've got this blue and yellow gradient. Watch what happens. It asks me right now, I take my hand off the mouse. It asks me to pick a point. Well, the point I'm going to pick right here is going to be here. I'm going to pick a point there. I'm going to pick a point down there. So I pick those 2 points. And once I have, I can close the hatch creation dialog box. And I've got this object right here. So that's all it is, just a circle, 2 lines, a couple hatch patterns. And now I want to turn it into a block. How do I do that? Well, to turn it into a block, we have to start the block command. Now, the easiest way to do it is you type the letter B, B for block, and I hit my enter key. But there's another way to do it. There's about 5 different ways to do it. We're going to go to insert, and you got create block right here. So I'm going to create block. You've got write block and create block. I'm going to go to create block. So go to create block in Shazam. This is the same dialog box I just showed you. And we're going to name it marker. So you got to give it a name, M-A-R-K-E-R. And then down here, we want to specify a base point. So we're going to pick a point. Going to click pick a point right here. And we're going to pick a point right here. Boom. And then we're going to select objects. So we're going to click on these objects. So here, I'm going to grab everything. Now, once I've done that, we've then selected everything. And you'll notice that it shows up right here. Okay, that tells you you've now defined it. So 3 steps. You name it. You specify a base point. In this case, we use the circle, which also happened to be the intersection of the 2 lines in the middle. You select your objects, you grab everything, and then you have this turned on to be delete. And the reason why is this will give you a visual cue that it's done. So click on OK, and boom, it says the block definition has changed. Do you want to define it? Sure, we'll redefine it. Yep. Okay, so I went ahead and did that, and it disappeared. So what I'm going to do right now is that's gone. Now I'm going to insert it. Now watch what happens. I'm going to change the layer to something like, I'm just going to change to miscellaneous. Now watch what happens. I go to insert, and you see it's right down here. You see marker now. I made that. So I click on here and watch what I can do here. Drop it, and I can rotate it around. And you'll notice it's green because the current layer is miscellaneous. And so in this particular case, the hatch maintains its blue and yellow gradient, but the green lines are used for the actual line work. If I change my layer to something else, let's say to, I'll just use something else. I will just go ahead and use something, I'll just use text. And I'm going to go to insert and go to my marker again. I'm going to click here and pick a point like that. And then when I've done that, you'll notice it looks like that. Okay, so what I just did there is I made a block, okay? I made a block. And this is something that I want you guys to do too. You only have to put one of these in here, but I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna tell you a little story here as we get into this, because this is actually, when you make a block and you defined it, there is a huge advantage to it in this sense. If you ever need to change it, you can. And this is where I think I mentioned you guys that with my, my supervisor, Jim Vasquez, he basically gave me this job and I was working on it. And then at that point, he came in to take a look at my work, and it turned out I'd used the block. I used a certain block, and the customer changed their mind. But I spent like a whole week using the other block, and so I was like, "Oh man, do I have to lay all this out again?" And he said, "No, no, no. All you got to do is you have to redefine the blocks. I'm going to show you how to do that." So to redefine a block, you double-click on it. Now, when you double-click on it, it brings us up and says, "Do you want to edit the block definition?" I'm going to say, "Okay." And now what I'm going to do right here is I have this, okay? It brings in this gray area, which is like, ooh, scary, but it's really not so bad. You'll see it brings you into an editing location where it gives you a lot of tools that are specific for doing like dynamic blocks. We're just going to go to the Home tab over here. On the far left, we go to the Home tab, and then we'll just go back to Hatch again and use gradient again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the color from yellow, blue to something else. I'm going to change it from blue and yellow to blue and magenta. And when I do that, I'm going to click on the upper right corner, the lower left corner, boom, and it looks like that. And if it still doesn't look quite right, I can actually change around whether I want it to be centered or not. and I can go ahead and I can change its angle. I can go ahead and change how it's going to fit in there. Then I can close that. And then I'm going to close out of this. It says, do you want to save it? Now watch what happens. I'm going to save the change and watch what happens. Boom. And now look at that. They now have that magenta on the other side. So I went ahead and redefined all the blocks all at once. So I went ahead and did that. So that is the block section right here. That's the first part of this section. There's going to be a little bit more. We're going to talk about attributes. We're going to talk about how attributes work. So we got that. Let's take 5 minutes. We're going to take 5 minutes and we're going to come back to this. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to step away for a minute. So take 5 minutes. Go ahead and grab yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or something. And I'll be back in 5 minutes. So class is not over. I'll be back in 5. I just need to step away. And so do you guys probably. So 5 minutes. I'll see you in 5. It's 7:04. That means it's going to be 7:09. See you in 5. Okay, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're gonna continue on here. Okay, looks like somebody showed up here. Maybe, maybe not. Let me see if anyone else showed up. Okay, looks like we're good, and we're going to continue on here. And so what we did is we covered how to make blocks, and then we also covered how to insert them. First inserting them, and then after that, how to make them. So we went ahead and did that. And here's the block that we made. Can you guys see this okay? The block definition, the marker. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. So going down to here, next thing is attributes. What are attributes? Well, attributes are essentially a means by which we can actually translation in a drawing. So what we're going to look at is we're going to look at an example right now that could actually be used in a title block. But before I get to that one, I'm going to make a little attribute just on this one right here. I'm going to just use this marker, and I'm going to go back to the marker and show you how I would do this. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of wing this. I wasn't going to do this, but what the heck, we're doing this. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to freestyle a little bit here. So I've got this right here. So I've got this. And what I want to do right now is I'm going to explode this so it's no longer a block, just so that I can work with it. Now, when you explode it, it's just something just breaks us back into its basic elements. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to make what's called an attribute. So let me show you something here. To make an attribute, I'm going to use text as my layer. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to make an attribute. So to do that, I go to Insert, and I've got defining attributes right here. So what's an attribute? Let me show you. So I'm going to make an attribute right here. I can actually define an attribute, and this is essentially a little piece of information that will be tracked along with this. So I'm going to go ahead and call this marker underscore number. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this in here for marker number. So basically what that's going to do is it's defining a field for me to go ahead and track this information in AutoCAD. So basically what I'm able to do right now, okay, move this one away from the shared. Okay, can you guys still see AutoCAD?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I've got right here is I've made this identifier. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to take it and I'm going to drop it right here. Okay, now it's kind of small, so that's okay. I'm going to scale it up a little bit. So I'm going to scale that up. Oh gosh, what the heck? Make it about what? 3 times its size, 4 times. Still too small. So I'm going to scale it again. And go to here and make it 5 times its size, like there. Okay, so I got marker. So it's got marker number right here. Okay, so I've got that. Now what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and I want to make another one. So I'm going to go to here and let me go ahead and check this out first of all, see what its size is now. What is its properties? What is its height? 3 3/4 inches. Okay, let's just go ahead and make it an even 4. Properties, make it 4 inches. What the heck, 4? Okay, got that. Okay, so as I put in another one, so I've got that and it says marker number. I'm going to make another attribute right here. And I'll make this one say right here, ATT-def. All right, and this one I'm going to make it say, instead of saying marker number, I'm going to say use. I'm going to say marker use, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and say 4 for my height. And I'm going to go ahead and drop it right underneath this one. Boom and boom. So I've got 2 different identifiers. Now, so how do I do this? Well, I make them a block, same way I did before. I go to create a block, and I go to create a block right here, and I'm going to go ahead and call this one marker. Only now what it's going to do is it's going to have this other information here. So I'm going to specify, rather I'm going to go ahead and grab the, pick the point right here. And then I'm going to select the objects, which is going to be all this, and then this, and this. So I got those. And now I hit OK. Now watch what happens when I hit OK. It says, hey, yours is going to redefine this. Are you sure you want to do this? Well, yes, I do. So I click on that. And now at that point, that disappears. And now, now I'm going to insert the marker. And so when I insert the marker, I go to Insert. I'm going to insert the marker. Watch what happens here. I go ahead and drop this here. And I go ahead and drop it there. And now look at that. It now asks me, what's the number you want to use? Now just go ahead and say A-1 and marker use. And this one's going to be civil. It's going to be used as civil marker. So I hit OK. And watch what happens when I hit that. Boom. A1 and civil. Okay. Now this one has already been defined. So I double click on here. And okay, I don't want to do that. I actually just want to. Okay, it looks like it doesn't have that. Looks like it's still the old one. Well, let me do that. I don't know if it will or not. I'm just going to get rid of this one. All right, get rid of that one. I'm going to insert the others now. So go to insert marker, do another one here, drop this one, and I'm going to name this one A-2. And this marker use is actually going to be boundary. And I go ahead and hit OK, and boom. So that's how you go ahead and do this. Now, once you've got that, this information that can then be used throughout the AutoCAD database. This is actually kind of cool stuff. So that's what attributes are. Okay, they're pretty straightforward. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to see how to use attributes. First, I'm going to show you how to use them on a title block, and then I'm going to show you how to make them. Okay, so we're going to do this. This is the next thing. So now that we understand what they are, and I went through those basic steps right here. And again, it's up here, define attributes. This is how you do this. You save it along with me. Any questions about what I'm showing you so far right now? Any questions about this?
I'm just glad you got the video.
Yeah, okay. The video is going to have all this right here. Okay, so we're sharing it, and actually we had the little 5-minute break in there too. Oh well, life goes on. Okay, so now I'm going to go to A size. I'm going to go to A size right here. You're going to notice that right now I've got a basic viewport. I've got a basic thing in here, and there's not much information here, but I'm going to double click inside here. When I do that, it shows me all my information, okay? Now, let's say I want to go ahead and I want to, now this is called a viewport. I double clicked inside of there, and what I've got right inside here, I've got 2 different things inside here. Now, this is actually a pretty easy concept. Let me just explain what's going on right here. This is called a viewport right there. That's a viewport right there. And you don't have to do anything else except know it's a viewport. And then when you double click inside of it, that means you're inside the other area. So that means you can just pan and zoom like you can before. I'm just wheeling my mouse in and out. So if you zoom or extends, it does that, and you double click outside of it, and you have that. Now what I want to do is I want to insert a title block. Okay, so a title block, we learned what a title block was. It is a means by which you track information about your drawing. So let me show you how this works. So we're going to insert a title block here, and this particular title block is called title block A. So I'm going to click on title block A, and I put an attribute on here. So I'm going to drag this down to here, pull it right inside of here, so it's going to fit kind of nicely. Pull it right inside there and click. And when I do that, I go ahead and drop it there, and then boom, it asks me to enter the sheet title, A-1. Actually, I'll just call this Site Plan Maple Lane, like that. I think it'll fit. If it doesn't, I can change it. Site Plan Maple Lane, there it is. So I've got that right there. Boom, I just went and put that information in. That is how you would use attributes inside of a title block. That one's already been done for us. So that one's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we have that right there. Site Plan Maple Lane, we got that right there. Okay, so I'll show you that one more time. Okay, all I did is inserted. I'm going to go ahead and just delete that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert that again. So I go to Insert, Title Block A, and I can go ahead and just pick a point right here where I could say 0, 0. They both work. And then I go ahead and rotate this around. And then when I drop it, it asks me for the sheet title. And I say Site Plan Maple Street, Maple Lane, like that. And then I hit OK. And that is how we put this information in. Then it can actually be tracked throughout the database. That's actually very powerful. So that's what you would do when you put in a title block. That's how that actually work together. So that's basically it. Okay, now, attributed title blocks are very common. You may find in the organization you wind up working with that you'll actually be able to put this in here. But remember, it's just a block with these attributes put on it. That's all it is. So now here's the assignment. Okay, so going back to here, we are now going to put in some attributes, and this is actually how we're going to do this. So moving to the next thing here, we're going to define some. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to put them on the D-sized title block. I've got this D-sized title block right here, and again, I can double click inside here, and I can zoom to extends inside here like that. I can zoom inside there, and what I'm going to do right here is I am then going to, and by the way, you have 2 different things right here. You'll notice that, and this is something I just want to point out before I go any further. This is something you guys are going to need just to feel confident as far as what you're doing right now. So one thing you're going to want to do right here is if we go to here, so let me do this. Okay, right up here, I'm going to Spotlight. Now, please notice it down here. It says paper right down here. This says paper. This means you're in paper space. And down here, this triangle you see down here, that's also indicates you're in paper space. Those are the indicators. Down here in your status bar, it says paper, and over here it says you're in paper. When you're in paper right here, that is where your title block is. So that is where you would actually go ahead and do the work on the title block. So just notice that. The other space, if I double click here, it is called model. Model space looks like this, and the triangle is now missing, but you'll see this icon right here. So what you're doing is you're actually working in the model that's the black background area, only you're doing it through the paper space window. That's what's going on right there. So what we're doing right here is we want to stay in paper space. We don't need to do that right there. So we go back to paper space. And now we're in paper space again. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to go back over to here. And what I'm going to do is, if I can do that. All right, yeah, here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to put in what are called some attributes. You'll notice that there's some attributes that I want to have down here. You got sheet, project, date, and scale. So I'm gonna put those in. So let me show you how they're gonna look. So to look at this right here, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna look at right now, and that is back over here to the sheet that I was working on, which is back over, where is it now? Right over here.
Mr. Galusha?
Hello?
Yes. I was wondering, because we weren't able to see AutoCAD when you did that paper space.
Oh, you weren't? Okay, yeah. You guys
So,
got to tell me if
I
you're not
don't know
seeing.
where it is on a toolbar.
I'll show you again. I'll show you again in a second. Okay. Are you guys seeing? Okay, let me make sure you guys are seeing this. Yeah. Make sure you tell me if you're not seeing it, because if you don't, I don't have a visual cue as far as what you're seeing and what you're not seeing. So it's okay. Are you guys seeing this right now? Are you seeing where it says attributes here? Are you seeing this?
Yes.
Okay. So, and this is not too hard for you guys. This is actually pretty straightforward. Don't treat it like something it's too difficult. It's really not. You guys can all handle this. This is something that's commonly done in AutoCAD. It's not that hard. Okay, so what you're doing right now is your attribute definition dialog box looks like this. I'm going to make, I showed this before. This one's going to be sheet number, sheet no. And by the way, for the tag, you can't use any blanks. So that's why I have the sheet underscore NO for sheet number. Okay, we're going to do that. And then down here, you have a few more. You got project name. And then you got one down here called date. And then you got one down here, it's called scale. So we're going to make those 4 attributes right now. So I'm going to make those 4 attributes, sheet number right here. So let's start with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to here. So I'm going to go back to AutoCAD. And I'm going to go back to AutoCAD. And I'm going to go ahead and work on this. So back over here and over into AutoCAD. Can you guys see AutoCAD now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to change my layer to 0. Okay. And then over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the sheet one right here. I'm going to go to sheet. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to define attributes, okay, which is right here. So I'm going to go to define attributes. So I click there and it brings this up. And so what do I want to do? SHEET underscore NO for sheet number. And then back to here, I'm going to go to sheet number. Okay, so that's all I'm doing right now. So I'm filling this in. Now watch what happens when I hit OK. I hit OK and I drop it. Look, that's way too large. Why is that so large? I don't know why. Let's try that again. Repeat. Okay, I think, okay, the reason why is this is too large. That's why. So we'll do this again. Okay, mine changed because I'd done that before. So yours will not change because you won't have to do all that. So sheet number and then SHEET. That capitalized. Let me see. Sheet number. Let's see here. No, I just have it like this. Okay, HET. Like that. Sheet number. Okay, now my height right here is going to be what? That's 3/16 of an inch. So that's what it shows. Actually, and you guys have got this data right there, 3/16 of an inch. So I hit OK and watch this. I drop this right here. Boom. That's it. That's all you do. I just place it in there. That is an attribute. It says sheet. No, it's in place. So now I'm going to, if I right click my mouse, I can repeat it. And this next one is on the sheet. It's project name. And then down here, like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit OK again. Oh, may not contain spaces. See? Okay, that's why. Okay, so I got to do that. So I hit OK. I'm going to drop this right in here. And boom, I dropped that there. So I can make another one. And this next one is on the next page. And this one's called date. Everything's just going right along with what I have on my title block there. Just in these 4 fingers. Date. Okay. And drop it right in there. And then the last one, you can do one more. And then this one is going to be called scale. And then down to here. And hit OK. And drop this one down here. like that. Okay, so I've got these in place right there. So now that I've done that, I got project name, date, sheet number, and scale. Let me go over here and show you something here. This is what it's going to look like when you get this all put together. Okay, so you got this, you put this in sheet number. Can you guys see the attributes right now? This definition dialog box?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to do this, and you're only just changing the first couple items, tag and prompt, and then you're just clicking a point in the drawing. Okay, and once you got those, when you put them all in your drawing, when they're all complete, it's going to look like this. When it's all in, they're all going to look like this. But for right now, when we put them in, it looks like this. So it looks like this right now. That's how you know you got it right. So attribute definitions on a title block is right there. And what we're going to do is when we save this all together, it's going to look like that. So let me show you this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to AutoCAD, and I'm going to show you how to make this work. Okay. So to make this all work, we're back to here. Okay. Now the only thing we got to do right now is you've got this right here. You've got this, this right here. And what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and we're going to name this a different thing. We're going to call it title block D. All right. So how do we make a block? Well, I think we've learned how to do that. We go here to create a block. Create a block right here. Okay. Create a block, and this one's going to be create a block, and we're going to create a block, and we're going to name it title block D. Title block D. I'm going to do this. I'm going to specify a base point, which is going to be the, I'm going to pick the point rather, which is the lower left corner down here. And then I'm going to select my objects, which is going to be this. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick on these items here. I think this will all work. I think it should. Sheet number, project name, date, and scale. Hit my enter key, boom, see if it likes this. And I'm going to hit OK. And I, by the way, I have it on delete right now. And the reason why it's still giving me a visual cue that it should delete when I do that. So I hit OK. Boom, it deletes. Okay, so that's all gone right now. Okay, so now let's see if I can insert it. And if I do insert it, if it works right. So I'm going to go ahead and change this right now. You always got to check your work. You always got to make sure it's right. Let's see here. Can you guys still see my information here? You should be able to, yeah. So I'm going to change my current layer to border. Why border? Because border is where we put our title block. So we go to border. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert this. So I go to insert right here, and I'm going to go to title block D. Boom. And the insertion point, I can click a point somewhere down here or type in 0, 0. Boom. And then I go ahead and I rotate it. Now watch what happens when I do this. Boom. And now it asks me, what's your sheet number? And I can go ahead and put in these values. And the sheet number we see right here, it's actually right here on the attributed title block. So it's going to be S-1. And the project name is going to be site plan. And the date is 4/2020. And the scale is going to be 1/4 inch equals a foot. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, like that. And I'll hit OK. Now watch what happens when I hit OK. Boom. And look at that. It just populated information in there, okay? So rather than just putting in text that's just without any kind of information to it, we have now used the AutoCAD database elements to put this together. That is how you made an attributed title block. And you can actually make a lot of money just doing this for people right here. I've done it. So that's actually you can do. Not that hard to do. Okay, so I went ahead and did that. So just to repeat that, those last couple steps right here, once if I go ahead and drop it out of here, if I go ahead and just get rid of it, and I go ahead and insert it back in, I go to insert it, title block D, I'm going to say 0, 0, boom, and I'm going to go ahead and jump it in like this. And then it asks me, okay, S-1, and then the project name is going to be site plan. And then down here, the date is 4/2020. And the scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. And I hit OK. Now when I do that, it looks like that right there. It all comes in and you're in good shape. Okay, so everything I've showed you will work like that. Now, here's something. Last step that you want to do is you want to make this particular viewport to be the same size. So I click on this viewport. When you click on this viewport, that's interesting. Okay, it's not giving me that. Okay, so why is it not giving me that? Huh, must not be in 2018. Okay, so I'm going to double click inside here. Now when I double click inside here, what I just did is I just made paper space no longer working, and I made model space working. So back to here. So over here, you'll notice that right now I'm in paper space. It says paper down here, and it says it has a triangle over here. That tells me I'm in paper space. So now what I want to do is I want to go to model space. So to go to model space, you can do it one of two ways. You guys click on the word paper, and it turns it into a model. You can do it. That's the easiest way to do it. And then once you're in model space, you're going to notice something down here. At the lower part of your screen, you're going to notice there's a scale. In the scale down here, you can actually pick a particular scale. I'm going to pick a scale down here, 1/4 inch equals a foot, which is what I just told it I wanted it to be. So 1/4 inch equals a foot, it does that. It's now scaled, and I can lock it. There's a little lock right down here. I can lock that, put it in place, and now we're good to go. So now you've got that, and that's what it should look like when you're all done. And so when you're all complete, the whole thing is going to look like this, like it sees in your like it shows in your last sheet there. That is how we go ahead and make what's called an attributed title block right there. That's actually a very powerful thing. So tying it all together, when you guys get this done, you are going to insert it. It's going to look like this. This is what you're going to insert. You're going to have your title block around your drawing right here. It's going to look like this right here. So that is what you're going to do. So yes, all the minutia that I just carried will be part of this whole thing, but it's really, the concepts are not that difficult. You guys can do this, but these are blocks. You've already worked with blocks. They're attributes, which is something new, and they're attributed title blocks. So you put them all together and you're good to go. So anyway, I'm going to be here, so I'll let you guys go ahead and start to work on this. It's now 7:35, so I'm a little bit past my lecture time, but I'll give you guys we got the next 2 hours and 15 minutes to work on this. So I'll be here to answer questions. So let's go ahead and start working on this. And again, we're going to step through these things just like you see here. So what we're going to do is going back over to our sheet. We go to our sheet right here, and just to go through it bit by bit here, we're going to do these things. We go back to the beginning, and this is a sheet you're going to download that's going to be right on the, that's on Blackboard. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this item right here. You're going to download the template, and you're going to populate this with the blocks that you see right here. You're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, once you've done that, you are then going to make a block called marker using the same steps that I did before. Again, just a circle, lines, and a couple of hatch patterns. You're going to go ahead and do that. And then you're going to define attributes, okay? And you're going to define the attributes just like I showed you. And everything is going to be on the video. So we've got this right here, and then I'm going to continue on down here, and you got these attributes, and then you're going to basically put your attributes in, and they're going to look like this when you're all done. And the whole thing when you're all done is going to look like this, and this is what you're going to turn in. You're going to save this as site plan-maple lane. Site plan-maple lane with your last name, and then you're going to turn that in. It's going to look like this. So that's it. And you're going to be doing this by working on what are called your viewports, rather your layouts right here. So just to, again, to show you what's going on with AutoCAD there, is as we're going over here, and as we're working on this right here, you'll notice that we had this over here. So you've got model, and then you've got an A size. This is called a layout right here, and a D size layout. Okay, so you basically, that's how you get the white backgrounds right there. So you got this, and you got this. And that's how you find all those informations, all that information. And that's it right there. So that's the assignment, and that's what we're going to work on, and that is all it's going to be for this week. And this is what we're going to be using in the future to actually finish our last project, and we're going to be actually putting title blocks around each of the different sheets. So we actually put a whole thing together here. So again, I'm going to be here to answer questions, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the share right here. I'm going to save the video, and I'm going to port that out. But those are the first few steps to get going right there. And so you would start by going to the first page right there. You can download that and start by putting in the blocks, and then I'll get the other one going. So I'll let you guys go ahead and do that, and I will continue on here. Go ahead and stop recording.